What up, though? Cool Antarctica. Is Antarctica guarded by the military? And other nonsense. This is from coolantarctica.com. Antarctica is difficult to get to, has virtually no infrastructure, and is a very hard environment to live in. The land is almost totally unproductive. Not a single person has ever subsisted for a single day on the food that grows in Antarctica. It is protected by the Antarctic Treaty, agreed to by 55 countries. It came into force in 1961. In 1991, environmental protections were added with requirements for visitors. Once again, it is protected by the Antarctic Treaty, agreed to by 55 countries. The land is almost totally unproductive. Not a single person has ever subsisted for a single day on the food that grows in Antarctica. Antarctica is difficult to get to, has virtually no infrastructure, and is a very hard environment to live in. However, it is protected by the Antarctic Treaty, agreed to by 55 countries. It's hard to get to, which means you ain't going, I ain't going. They say the land is unproductive. Not a single person has ever subsisted for a single day on the food that grows there. Not a single person. So why is it protected? And by protected from whom? Who wants to go to a place where the land is unproductive and there's no history of anyone who has ever subsisted for a single day on the food that grows there? This show is mainly a nod to those who think for themselves, and to those who don't, hopefully, you will start to do so after you listen to the thoughts that someone else has given you. Does any of this make sense so far? But the title of the article says, "Is Antarctica guarded by the military?" And other nonsense. Well, it is protected by the Antarctic Treaty, agreed to by 55 countries. You don't think it's guarded by the military of at least one of those countries? Or how about a military made by all those countries in agreement? Let's shake it. Is Antarctica guarded by the military or government? About 50,000 tourists in Antarctica. About 50,000 tourists visit Antarctica each year. There are about 1,000 people there on land basis at all times, which rises to 4,000 during the short summer months. It is not hidden, secret, or off limits. Under the terms of the Antarctic Treaty, there are no national territorial claims. Those countries that have previously made claims were all founding members of the treaty. There is no government of Antarctica. Well, we know that there is a treaty and it's established by 50 plus countries. So, would you say that someone's governing Antarctica? Would you say that someone controls it or some control it? There is hardly anyone there, and they already have full-time jobs doing other stuff. Well, they said there's hardly anyone there. Well, they just told us that there are about 1,000 people there on land basis at all times, which rises to 4,000 during the short summer months. You probably think that these people, the 1,000 people, are working and, faces planted in their laptops and books and writing down equations and things of that nature. And then when the 4,000 come, they are doing the same thing. But there are 1,000 people there at all times on land bases, which rises to 4,000 during the summer months. Who are those 4,000 people? Vacationers. They're in Antarctica for a holiday. Only certain people, though. The population of Antarctica is found almost entirely on nationally funded research stations, which are small, self-contained, externally supplied communities where the laws of the operator country apply similarly to ships on the high seas. There are also 1 or 2 temporary tourist camps each summer, which operate in a similar manner, though are privately funded. You can go to Antarctica as a tourist or as part of a scientific station and their activities, or you can plan your own expedition. Really? It is difficult to reach, stay, and live in Antarctica, but it isn't guarded by anyone. So they say. It seems really structured to me. Why don't one of you try? Who knows? Maybe you'll book a trip. And on that trip, pay close attention to if you're free to do as you please. Actually, get a ship and sail there. Let's put it to the test. Quite apart from the difficulties of guarding Antarctica, who would it be guarded from and why? The difficulty of guarding it, well, you have 50 plus countries who are in agreement or who signed the treaty. And I'm pretty sure out of those 55 countries, one of those countries has a military. Is it illegal to go to Antarctica? No. Though if you go about things in the wrong way, it could be. In the same way that you can visit your own country's parliament, probably, museums, parks, shops, countryside, etc. But if you do it in the wrong way, you will fall foul of the rules and possibly laws that are there to protect those places and the people living there. The Antarctic Treaty dictates how you as a citizen of your country must act. If you go to Antarctica, if your country is a signatory, If you are going as a tourist or for employment, permission will be applied for on your behalf. If you are applying as a private citizen on your own expedition, you must show that you are fully self contained, no turning up at a research station and hoping for food, shelter, fuel, or other supplies, not even to buy, and have made all necessary contingencies to prevent pollution or environmental damage, and also what your purpose for going to Antarctica is. You must be fully contained, no turning up at a research station and hoping for food, shelter, fuel, or other supplies, not even to buy. Hurry up and buy. Hurry up and buy. And have made all necessary contingencies to prevent pollution or environmental damage, and also what your purpose for going to Antarctica is. So if you're not self-contained, ain't nobody getting you Nathan. They won't even help you. They're mean. This may be denied for any number of reasons. If you go anyway, you will face penalties from your own country on your return. These vary, but are typically in the range of a fine of up to around 10,000 and or 1 to 2 years in prison for going to a place on the earth that no one else goes, that no one else can supposedly survive in, where the land is uninhabitable? Question mark. Such penalties have hardly ever been levied, as it makes little sense to go to Antarctica on your own private expedition if you can afford it, as there are a range of expert run trips for those who can have the fare, or in other words, you can't go. Ain't no reason for you to be coming around here snooping, looking into Stop being nosy. Such penalties have hardly ever been levied, as it makes little sense to go to Antarctica on your own private expedition. Now, they're telling you that it don't make no sense for you to go. Do that sound like that it's legal to go? If you have a legitimate reason, it's probably a document that's 1,000 pages long, listing what's not a legitimate reason. If you have a legitimate reason to mount an expedition and can raise funding for it, you will find agencies who will help you do so. If you have a legitimate reason, first, that's number one, you got to get past and make sure you got a legitimate reason. It can't just be, I want to go. To mount an expedition and can raise funding for it, which means it costs money. Not the money that you're going to spend getting yourself together, being a self-contained unit. You're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay a fee. Customs and whatnot. You will find agencies who will help you do so, or direct you. The frivolous, dangerous, and damaging are dissuaded. The legitimate, encouraged. What you got to do to become a legitimate What is being hidden in Antarctica? What are you hiding? Nothing, you say. That's exactly what you would say if you were hiding something. Aha! Conspiracy theorists do love to seem cleverer than everyone else and claim stupid things that just waste everyone's time while getting attention. We're not going to even discuss that. One fool may ask more than 7 wise men can answer. Oh, they put a saying by another man in order to dissuade you. An Italian proverb first recorded in 1666, or an Italian proverb first recorded in 666. There's nothing new about asking pointless questions. And of course, it is 666, the mark of a man. The number of a man, or what some might say, the mark of the beast. It is always with you see it. You see it. One fool may ask more than 7 wise men can answer. An Italian proverb first recorded in 666. There's nothing new about asking pointless questions. Yes, this is how they dissuade you. There is no evidence that anything is being hidden in Antarctica. How would you know? You can't go. First of all, no one really wants to go. Everyone pretty much just want to be left alone. But see, you can't leave people alone. So you pour out the information until it's confusing. Someone gets inquisitive and says, hey, what's with Antarctica? Or who is hiding it? Of course, they might just be very good at it. Many flights in the northern hemisphere fly over the Arctic region, but this is not the case in Antarctic. The reason is that there aren't many regular scheduled flights that might cross Antarctica. It's not the shortest way to get anywhere that can support regular routes. There are also international air industry rules that dictate that airlines must stay within certain flying times of airports in case of emergencies. And as there are relatively few international airports very close to Antarctica, this rule has the effect of keeping planes away. There have been a few routes in the past, and there may be again in the future, that skirt the coast or even fly over the continent for a short time, but they have been rare and are unlikely to become more used in the foreseeable future. Planes can and do sometimes fly over Antarctica. It is not a no-fly zone, and it is not illegal to those planes that are allowed to fly over it. It is just very impractical to do so. Again, the author of the article is giving you your thoughts, giving you your feelings. How about we take control of our own thoughts and our own feelings, at least for the moment? Let's shake it. Smaller planes fly lower and have to deal with challenging weather conditions, snowfalls, whiteouts, and icing problems. The Antarctic Treaty. The governments of Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Chile, the French Republic, Japan, New Zealand, Norway, the Union of South Africa, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and the United States. Recognizing that it is in the interest of all mankind that Antarctica shall continue forever to be exclusively for peaceful purposes and shall not become the scene or object of international discord. But America, our soil, should become the scene of international discord. Why is your home soil the scene or object of international discord? And who is making the decision on what portions of this place we call Earth shall be used exclusively for peaceful purposes? What are the peaceful purposes? Do these groups who have signed on to this treaty understand what peace is? I think they understand what slicing Antarctica into pieces means. Acknowledging the substantial contributions to scientific knowledge resulting from international cooperation in scientific investigation in Antarctica. Convinced that the establishment of a firm foundation for the continuation and development of such cooperation on the basis of freedom of scientific investigation in Antarctica, as applied during the International Geophysical Year, accords with the interest of science. That highly esteemed word, science. Convinced also that a treaty ensuring the use of, treaty? Don't they break treaties? Convinced also that a treaty ensuring the use of Antarctica for peaceful purposes only and the continuance of international harmony in Antarctica will further the purposes and principles embodied in the Charter of the United Nations. That global body that has your best interests at heart. And is never too shy to give you your thoughts, have agreed as follows. Article 1, Antarctica shall be used for peaceful purposes only. Again, which place who signed on to this treaty is familiar with peace? Have you ever known peace? Just acknowledging your five senses. Have you ever known peace? There shall be prohibited inter alia any measures of a military nature, such as the establishment of military bases and such as the establishment of military bases. I thought there were 1,000 people living on bases there, and fortifications. The carrying out of a military maneuvers as well as the testing of any type of weapons. The present treaty shall not prevent the use of military personnel or equipment for scientific research, of course, or for any other peaceful purposes. When has military personnel or equipment for scientific research been used for peaceful purposes? Article 2, freedom of scientific investigation in Antarctica. Article 3, information regarding plans for scientific programs in Antarctica shall be exchanged to permit maximum economy and efficiency of operations. Scientific personnel shall be exchanged in Antarctica between expeditions and stations. In the event of the conclusion of international agreements concerning the use of nuclear energy, including nuclear explosions and the disposal of radioactive waste material, to which all of the contracting parties whose representatives are entitled to participate in the meeting provide for under Article 9 are parties, the rules established under such agreement shall apply in Antarctica. Article 7. Observers shall be nationals of the contracting parties which designate them. Each observer designated in accordance with the provisions of paragraph 1 of this article shall have complete freedom of access at any time to any or all areas of Antarctica. All areas of Antarctica, including all stations, installations, and equipment within those areas, and all ships and aircraft at points of discharging and embarking cargoes or personnel in Antarctica, shall be open at all times to inspection by any observers designated in accordance with paragraph 1 of this article. Aerial observation may be carried out at any time over any or all areas of Antarctica by any of the contracting parties having the right to designate observers. Article 10. Each of the contracting parties undertakes to exert appropriate efforts consistent with the Charter of the United Nations, to the end that no one engages in any activity in Antarctica contrary to the principles or purposes of the present treaty. Article 13. The present treaty shall be subject to ratification by the signatory states. It shall be open for accession by any state which is a member of the United Nations, or by any other state which may be invited to accede to the treaty with the consent of all the contracting parties whose representatives are entitled to participate in the meetings provided for under Article 9 of the treaty. Instruments of ratification and instruments of accession shall be deposited with the government of the United States of America, hereby designated as the depository government. Article 14. The present treaty, done in the English, French, Russian, and Spanish languages, each version being equally authentic, shall be deposited in the archives of the government of the United States of America, which shall transmit duly certified copies thereof to the governments of the signatory and acceding states. And this is a drawing or photo, drawing probably. The parties to the Antarctic Treaty. Consultative is in the blue and non-consultative is in the green. If you look closely, the treaty is signed by the rulers or controllers of the soil portions that are all on the outskirts of said soil portions, which means there's only so far you can go before you too close to the edge. And you ask, the edge of what? I'm going to let you answer that. The edge of what? Don't fall over. Don't fall over the side, right? The edge of what? The edge of everything. Looking to the edge. You close to the edge? You ain't close to the edge yet. I ain't gonna let you get too close to the edge. What? Yeah. Oxford English Dictionary. Sun. The bright celestial object, which is the chief source of natural light and heat on earth, and appears to pass across the sky each day from east to west. I'm going to assume y'all listening, and I'm going to assume y'all reading. But let me make sure. We're talking about sun. S-U-N. Sun. The bright celestial object, which is the chief source of natural light and heat on earth. I didn't say who made the chief source. I didn't say how it was formed. I didn't say the sun formed 1 trillion years ago. I didn't say that. I didn't say what it was made of. We can't cover all that right now. I'm not ready, and I don't think you ready. I think this right here, these 3 lines, or these 2 and some change lines, is enough. The bright celestial object, which is the chief source of natural light and heat on earth, and appears to pass across the sky each day from east to west. We didn't say nothing about going round and round and round we go. North, south, east, west. Who said that? Who said that? The bright celestial object, which is the chief source of natural light and heat on earth, and appears to pass across the sky each day from east to west. Do the right thing.